Now we've created our categories, and one thing that I did not mention earlier is that with your categories you can actually embed categories within categories. So for example, I have a category about presidents, so but I can also have within that subcategories about each individual president that we may have talked about. So I've done it that way. That's just an example of what you can do. But now we need to create a question. So if we scroll down under settings and click on questions, we need to select a category. For this case, I'm going to just put it in the generic presidents category and create a new question. Notice that you have several different choices here. The one that I'm going to talk about is matching, is multiple choice. So we'll choose multiple choice and click next. And now we need to put in the information about the quiz, about the question itself. So for a question name, I'm going to give it something unique. This is only for me for my information. Students will not see the question name, but I need to be able to know it so that when I'm picking out questions, I can look quickly at the name and say, yes, I want that one, or no, I do not. So I'm going to give this one the name Civil War President. The question text I'm going to put in is, who served as the President of the United States during the Civil War. Notice that this text editor looks just like all the others that we have seen on different pages. You can go in and do pretty much anything you want there. The default mark is how much the question is worth by default. I'm going to leave all of them at 1 because I can always change that based on the number of questions that I give at a later time. I can weight one question more than another. And general feedback, this is information that the students will get after they submit the question, after they submit the answer. So if you wanted to give them some just general information about this, such as the correct answer, you could do that here. Let's get served spelled correctly right up there. Okay, multiple choice answers. We only have one answer here. We could have multiple answers if we wanted to. Shuffle the choices. They're not going to always show up in the same order. So if two students are taking the same quiz at the same time with the same question, one might have the first answer being the correct, the other one might have the third answer correct. And then you can choose if you want it lowercase letters, uppercase letters, what you want. So I'm going to leave it at ABC. Now, we put in our answers. So I'm going to put in the correct answer here first. Remember, this will not always be the first answer that the students see. And you choose how much credit do they get for picking this answer. They'll get 100% because this is the correct answer. And now you can give feedback so that if a student answers the question, they will see this feedback if they select that answer. So you could do something as simple as positive, good job. There. Now let's go down to choice 2, and here we'll put in an incorrect answer, Washington. So the grade here would be 0% or none. That means they don't get it, will not get any points here. And you could put feedback here. Incorrect. He was the first president of the United States. All right. And then choice 3, we can put in someone else. Thomas Jefferson. And you don't have to put in feedback, but it might be a good practice to do that always. He built Mount Vernon. And then we could put, you can have as many choices as you want. I'm going to put 4 here. And this is where you get a little bit of ability to work on your own here or make some decisions. Suppose you're feeling extra nice and say, well, if they put Jefferson Davis, I want to give them some credit for that. They at least knew it was during the Civil War. You could choose to let that particular choice have some weight. So maybe they'll get half credit for 50% there, and you could put down He was President of the Confederacy, not the U.S. And it has 5 by default. You could put in as many as you want here. I'm going to leave it at 4. The penalty for incorrect try, if you're allowing them to do multiple multiple times at this question, you can have a penalty every time they miss. Again, you have to choose something here. I'm going to leave it as the default right now. You can give hints for the questions so that they would have a hint button that shows up and you could give them a little information about it. And then once you do that, you hit Save Changes. So we've added our first question in, and notice that now up here under the Select Category, the Presidents has a 1 by it. That means we have 1 question in that category. And we can continue adding questions over and over in this same manner to populate our field with as much information as we can.